So I made a video yesterday about what I expect to happen at the trade deadline. And one of the things that I brought up was after the injury to Kirk Cousins, he's out for the year, if you haven't heard. And I brought up Teddy Bridgewater. Now, I forgot that Carson Wentz is a quarterback that would be essentially free, and he is not in the league at this moment. Not sure that the Minnesota Vikings want to trade pick up Carson Wentz in free agency. He would cost them little or nothing. Now, I had a thought. Teddy Bridgewater used to play for the Minnesota Vikings. He was drafted by the Vikings, played for them, blew his knee out, was never the same. They moved on from him. He's become a journeyman ever since. Would you consider if Kwesi, which is the general manager for the Minnesota Vikings, called you and said, listen, Brad, you know you my homie, right? We've been working really well together since you became GM and I became GM. We hurting. Our quarterback goes down. He lost for the season. Carson Wentz, we don't want to be bothered with him. What would it take for you to give us Teddy Bridgewater? So I would love to know your thought down below. Tannehill is on it. Tannehill is packing his stuff right now. They went out of their way to sign Teddy. Why trade him? Okay, Mark, that's a good question. Nick says no. Now, I hear a lot that Teddy knows the playbook, and we played them twice. Brad Holmes traded TJ Hawkinson to the Minnesota Vikings, and we had already played him once. So here's the deal. If you said, hey, the Minnesota Vikings said, we'll give you a fourth round pick. Now, remember, the Lions don't have a fourth round pick. They have 2/3. They have no fourth. If the Minnesota Vikings said, we need Teddy. Teddy's our only hope. We'll give you a fourth round pick in next year's draft for Teddy Bridgewater. What would you say? Nick says, what if Goff went down? Then the season will be over. Fourth round for Teddy. It's still there on the sub. Teddy connections in Minnesota are gone. Two thoughts in the same sentence. TJ ain't no QB though. Yes, trade Teddy. Don't need him with Hooker. Send his slow behind to the Vikings. Robin says so. Fletch says no. Okay. All right. We got 112 people. 112 people. I'll put a poll. Would you trade? Okay. TB 12. He's TB 7, I think. TB 7. Teddy. I'll just put Teddy so y'all won't be confused. Teddy B to the Vikings for a fourth. And we'll see what y'all say. Now, I'll tell you what my thoughts are. All right. So, let me see. We got Fletch says way too much playback knowledge. Do it if possible. Was never a Teddy Bridgewater fan in Minnesota. Never goes deep. Fourth round pick for Teddy Bridgewater. Patty says no. Hooker won't be activated this year, says Nick. Jay says no. We need to try and get Danielle Hunter in a package deal with Teddy. Teddy for Hunter. That is never going to happen. If Goff goes down late, Bridgewater kill us. No Teddy to the Vikings. Why trade him to conference opponent? Okay, so Tank, what I've been saying, do we not remember that we traded TJ Hawkinson last year? Do we not remember that the Minnesota Vikings picked up David Blau, who knew our playbook as well? So can we not act like this whole playbook is a big deal? That we can't be acting like this is a big deal. We actually beat the Minnesota Vikings after we traded TJ Hawkinson. So y'all got to get out of that whole headspace of, because I guarantee you Brad Holmes is not saying he knows our playbook. That's not even a thing. If you told me I will give you a fourth round pick for Teddy Bridgewater, I would have to consider it. Here's why. You picked him up after you drafted Hendon Hooker. Nick says Hendon won't be activated this year. Well, from what I've been hearing is that Hendon Hooker could be activated after the bye week. After the bye week. What purpose will he serve? He can't go on the practice squad because then we got to protect him, right? Somebody will take him in a second. So we're not going to put him on the practice squad, which means that if we do activate him, where would he go? So that's one reason he could be redshirted. Now let's take the trade scenario. If Hendon Hooker is cleared to play, we got to be honest. Teddy Bridgewater ain't gonna see the field unless A, Jared Goff goes down, or B, it's a blowout. Okay, Even in the Carolina game, he barely saw the field, and we had that game won from the very beginning. So if somebody said, I will offer you a 4th-round pick for Teddy Bridgewater, I'm taking it. If the Minnesota Vikings said it, I'm taking it. If anybody else said it, I'm taking it. I'm going to activate Hendon Hooker. I'm going to make David Blau my number 2 quarterback, and I'm going to make him, Hendon Hooker, the number 2 when he's ready to go. We drafted this guy. Y'all want to see what he has, right? If you can get us a 4th-round draft pick for a guy that will not be on our team in 9 games, I'm taking that. I'm taking that 100%. I don't care about the playbook. We play them twice at the end of the year. And let's be real. If they, right now, we're going to cakewalk this division. Teddy will give them the only chance to compete. But if you're telling me, I mean, we were going to win a division anyway, right? With Kirk Cousins, we were going to win. So we definitely going to win with Teddy Bridgewater. If possible, trade Teddy to the Jets for an active defensive player. Okay, DG, I don't think the Jets are in the market. Aaron Rodgers was out there throwing passes yesterday. He was throwing passes on the field. This dude was serious. If Zach Wilson can keep them in contention, I think right now they're 4-3. Some crazy. It's either 4-3, 3-4, somewhere around there. I think it's 4-3. They're in this thing. Aaron Rodgers could come back like the miracle man he is and take them to the playoffs. So I don't know. Not just for a pick, says Robin. Not sure if Hendon is 100% healthy. I think Hendon is 100% healthy. 100%. Just think about it. Jameson Williams was healthy this time last year. The Lions chose not to bring him off the NFI list. So he was ready to go. And Hendon got hurt a year ago, almost a year, 11 months ago. He's got to be healthy. He's got to be healthy. The jury is still out on Hawk. Has great games, but has the dropsies at time. I'd like to see what we paid for Teddy. That's a good question. Trade is while QB market is in high demand. I'm taking it. Grid, I agree. What's up, bro? Lions need someone now, though. Do they? What do you mean, a quarterback? Because they have David Blau. I mean, Jared Goff is pretty much an Iron Man. And if he goes down, then we would have... If Jared... Okay, think about the scenario, right? The Detroit Lions have a bye week next week. They activate Hendon Hooker this coming week. So after the game, they activate him. Open his 21-day window. They have 21 days to decide if they bring him to the active roster or do they pack him up. We go into a bye week. That's 1 week. We come back against the Chargers. That's 2 weeks. David Blau is our number 2 quarterback. By the 3rd week against the Chicago Bears, he still could be inactive. And we could then play him. We can make him active for Thanksgiving. Actually, real talk, he could miss the Bears and the Packers on Thanksgiving. And then we could activate him after that. So, I mean, if the Minnesota Vikings give me a 4th, I got to think about it. I got to take that deal. Because Teddy Bridgewater will not be on this team in 9 games. Teddy signed for $3 million. Use your number 1 use of backup QB is a scout team. Okay, David Blau can do that. He can do that. Only got so many that man can return from IR. Hooker's not one of them. We don't know that. Y'all don't know that. David Montgomery didn't get put on IR. We have 6 spots left. No, we have 6 spots left. Dorsey and Pascal. Are we going to bring up James Houston? We don't know. I don't know. I mean, do I think it happens? I don't think it happens. But if you offered me a 4th-round pick to the Minnesota Vikings, from the Minnesota Vikings, we would have 1 first, 1 second, 2 thirds, and a 4th. I'm taking it. So let me know what you think.